for people to get in through the flaggers and to keep us and mitigate us from backing traffic up onto the circle. So DES is providing great directions every afternoon and in some ways forcing people to go to Viale San Antonino if there's backups on Viale Ferrer. So a couple of the photos you see there, you can see the sidewalks forming up. So again, it's going to have improved sidewalks, bike path, lighting, and striping and signage, a much safer road, a much more fluid road, and much more functional for the type of fitness-minded soldiers and families we have out there. And a little bit of something, you can see the soil boring machine on the right, the lower right. That is the machine used for the archaeological excavation that they had to take additional borings around the one sample that they found. But the Navy ROIC office is doing a great job keeping us on a good schedule there. All right, next slide. Just another project here that not a lot of people may be aware of, but they might see the construction fence up around Building 101. So these 4 barracks renovations are adding sprinkler systems, so improving the fire protection of those buildings, and renovating the bathrooms and all the plumbing, really all the way through all the plumbing chases and drains. So the barracks are primarily used by the 1st, the 503rd here on Ederle, 100, 101, 104, and 105. We're taking them out one at a time, and there's about a 4-month period for each barracks to be worked on. And the soldiers that would be displaced from any one of those buildings at one time would be moved into Barracks 106 or 107 as swing space, which are the ones that are right on the corner of Olson Avenue and the road that's right in front of the theater, between Olson Avenue and the theater. Projected completion date for these renovations are June of 2016. And the last project, near and dear to everyone's hearts, anything we can do to improve the vehicle registration, inspection, flow, and to reduce the number of stops that we have. We have a project that we've done to add onto the vehicle registration building. You can see in the left picture, the addition is in blue. So vehicle registration and inspection, where that call out is, that part in blue is the addition, which has 3 drive-through bays. And 2 of them are going to be dedicated to inspections, and 1 for license plate installation. Again, this is right next to registration, so this will keep the tandem that you have to go to Torrey and then back to Ederle and then to Torrey again and then back to Ederle. It'll reduce at least 2 of those stops by 2 of those trips by having vehicle registration and inspection right there. Vehicle processing we know the hardest part is, for a lot of people is really when they're not familiar with where Torrey is. So at least the other good thing is the in-processing people, vehicle processing and receiving and shipping out is also there. So that other stop is eliminated. You can also see that the traffic flow around the big warehouse is supposed to be in a counterclockwise fashion, and that the existing traffic flow is shown on the left in black arrows. We know that we have weak signage and weak striping and weak awareness that traffic flows, because people do drive straight up to vehicle registration today. And we're going to improve by the time we get this open in October, we're going to improve the signage, striping, and the controls there to make it more clear and more safe for the cars that have to mingle with the trucks that deliver into CFMO, the trucks that deliver into the warehouse functions for AFES and MWR, and again, the CFMO is the furniture managing warehouse. That's the other reason people might be out there and be familiar with this. So on the right, the photo on the right, the new traffic, it was really not new, but you see the black is the existing traffic flow. The additional lane we're going to add in back of the vehicle registration building is where cars will queue for inspection. And we're not going to try to make this change in the middle of the summer rush. We're going to do it in the late September, early October timeframe. So we don't want to throw a curveball at people while we have the grunge of PCSing in and out. So one more thing I want to mention, there's no slide on it, but we are aware that the pigeon mitigation project that we have performed over at Delden Garages 23 and 24, or next to the barracks 23 and 24, the POVs, has not really worked as expected. We put netting on 2 of the 4 floors, the upper 2, the upper floors and the lower floors, and we left the middle open thinking that pigeons would not be able to get in with the side netting or the upper netting and wouldn't really find a reason to roost. So pigeon control is an art, and we're finding that out every day. We know that we have to get the roof netting ceiling netting on the additional 2 floors at a minimum, but we're also looking into other more creative methods, ultrasonic and some other kind of decoys, additional bird spikes. So I just want to let everyone know we're aware the problem didn't fully work. We're trying to clean it as much as we can, especially as the pigeon population has soared through the spring breeding season. And we know it's a big impact. We're trying to mitigate it with cleaning, get the second project out for the additional netting, and then anything else we can do to enhance the ultrasonics. So I knew you'd have a comment on that. Thank you.
So I noticed, Bob, you mentioned a few of our creative ideas, but you didn't mention mine. So I'm not sure if that means it didn't pass the legal review, but so maybe if Dave Ott is in here, how about my plan for the summer hire program for issuing air pellet guns to all of the summer hires? The Great Pigeon Hunt of 2015? Okay, I don't think that passed the legal review, so that is not one of the options. So continue with the spike and the ultrasonic sound.
Perfect, sir. We're on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next up, Dave Kosmicki, the Vicenza Postmaster, has some info on mailing items from our community mailroom.
Good morning, Dave Kosmicki, the Postmaster at Caserma, Italy. Today I'm here to address the new UCOM customs control for U.S. military mail in Italy. To comply with the new UCOM Italian customs regulation, every sponsor must sign acknowledging the military postal system, MPS, is for personal use and the use of sponsored family members only, and further that they have read the prohibited items trifold. This trifold reiterates the use of MPS to conduct business or act on behalf of others is not entitled to privileges, is strictly prohibited, as well as a listing the common items that may not be shipped or received. Sponsors will be able to sign the required acknowledgement at the official mail window parcel pickup counter at each Postal Service Center on Caserma, Italy, Delden, and Camp Darby. Our goal is to have all sponsors signed by 1 August. Please note that MPS privileges can be revoked if customs rules are violated. Mail is screened 100% when traveling to and from the United States. In closing, I want you to know, out of all the European garrisons, we are proud to say that we offer the most customer service hours. And the slides reflect the trifold.
Okay, one comment on that. I just want to highlight the part about that the customs, or the screening does occur. And in fact, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, someone down in Livorno, was not one of our community, he was actually here visiting, but he tried to falsify his custom form, the little tag you fill out on what's inside your box, and he made up some other stuff. Or is alleged to have made up some other stuff, excuse me. And the Italian customs discovered that in fact he had prohibited items, both firearms and alcohol, in that box. And so now there's both a joint Italian-U.S. investigation going into that act. It actually led into a follow-on seizure of over 30 or 40 weapons down in the Darby-Livorno area, many of them antiques. But still usable. So take it seriously. When they ask you to fill out that form, don't just put something down and throw it in there. Actually tell you what you got there, and make sure you're familiar with what is not shippable. So some things that people may not know is coffee and spices are not allowed to be shipped through our MPS. So regardless of the rationale or the reason why, take a look at your trifold. Sign on your sheet to say that you've read the trifold, and then obey the rules and the regulations. And again, MPS is for the personal use, not for business use. So to help us keep that privilege, use the privilege as it's intended. Thanks.
Okay, sir, and next up, Julia Sibilla.
Good morning, everyone. As we move into full-blown PCS season, I wanted to remind everyone of the great cultural adaptation classes that we have for our newcomers. Starting with our soldiers. Every Tuesday at ACS, we have an interactive one-day cultural adaptation class called Host Nation, and that's organized through the CPF and the relocation program. Each month, for 3 days, we have a terrific spouse welcome class called Benvenuti. Many of you are familiar with it. It's also an interactive class with a little travel, either to Venice, Verona, the downtown market. Great way for spouses to connect to the community and to feel welcome here. That can also be arranged at ACS through the relocation program. I'd like to highlight a lesser-known program that we have called Teen Venuti, which is kind of a play on Benvenuti for our middle school and high school population. And if you look at the flyer that you'll see all around the community, it'll give you kind of an idea of how fun and interactive this is for our incoming middle school and high school kids. What it is a day out in Vicenza. It's student-led, so our student leaders take their fellow and future classmates downtown. They learn how to use a bus. They go to a museum. They eat in a pizzeria. They talk. They exchange ideas about the school and sports and other things. Basically, they're connecting to their new community. So it's a very important way to welcome our newcomer kids into the community. The class is free. It's fun. It's interactive. We've been doing it for 4 years, and we know that it helps our community. And how do we know that? Every year when school starts, I will get emails or phone calls from parents saying, thank you for offering that program. My son went to the first day of school without that high level of anxiety as he has in the past. He had friends, he knew people, he was feeling a little comfortable. So let's not underestimate the importance of this. We want our kids to start the year off with the possibility of having the maximum success, feeling comfortable, excelling. So if you know a family that's coming in and they have kids, please contact us or contact the school liaison so we can get them signed up. We have 5 classes this summer, and if the need arises, we'll add additional classes. We can take up to 20 per trip. Again, it's free and it's fun. And if you are a teen in the community or a parent of a teen and you'd like your child to participate in this great opportunity, please contact us as well. Because it is teen-led, we need our teen volunteers to help us make it a wonderful class. So thank you.
Great. Those are great programs and something we highlight often with our fellow garrisons up north, and so they can do a similar program there for their children as they try to explore how to do that. But it's a great opportunity for us. But also want to encourage that for all of our community. Obviously, as all of our folks come in the summertime, we'll probably get between 1/3 and 25% of our population will change out. We want all of them to feel comfortable. And this is just one of the many ways we do it. But sponsors, take your job seriously. Make sure that that incoming family, that incoming soldier is comfortable with the surroundings and isn't left to figure it out on their own, because it can be kind of a daunting place if you don't know the language and you have never lived overseas before, and depending upon your particular age of the person you're sponsoring from, this may be the first time away from home in many ways. So make sure to include them in good, positive, welcoming events, encourage the introduction and meeting of folks so they have a good, positive peer group, whether it be children in school, fellow soldiers, fellow DA civilians, or family members, spouses, mothers, fathers, whatever the case may be. So please help us all out on that, because as we all remember, we all were new here at one point. So remember that little bit of anxiety that was in the pit of your stomach when you arrived to a new place, and try to help ease that for someone else.
And sir, I'd like to add, if you are sponsoring a soldier family and you want some ideas and you need a welcome packet, please come over to ACS and we can walk you through the process if you haven't been a sponsor before. We have a lot of things you can do and bring to that family or soldier that you're sponsoring.
All right, so I'm going to take a pause here just for a moment. We have an online question that I wanted to address as we go through this. And just a reminder, if you're watching online currently live and you have a question, go ahead to our Vicenza Military Community Facebook page and you can post a question there, and we'll address it as it comes up. And so this question is from Charlotte, and it's inquiring about with the 173rd 1st Battalion, 503rd 1st Battalion, 503rd Infantry deployed off to Eastern Europe for training and support of our allies. The DFAC here on Ederle has closed for the summer months. And so the question is, where can we eat a breakfast in the mornings if we don't have the ability to get to Caserma del Din, where the DFAC is still open? And so there are a few options here. As mentioned, Burger King, the Italian Cafe, and the Commissary. But she's looking for other opportunities besides those 3. And so, Chris, I know you have some plans and some designs and are looking at opening a healthy breakfast option on right here in the arena. And no, I don't think this was a plant. But here's the thing. So, we said, well, just open up breakfast hours. But of course, that takes cooks and it takes servers and it takes the cleaners and all the rest. And we are short of staff, believe it or not, here in the arena. And we have a number of job openings that are available. So if you are a spouse or a or someone that wants to get a job here in the food industry, the arena is taking applications and would love to be able to have the staff to then offer this opportunity for a breakfast meal here in the arena. So shameless plug, but it really was a question. You can check the Facebook page. It's on there. So, okay, with that, let's continue on, Aaron.
Thank you, sir. Next up, Sergeant Jordan Walker, the Environmental Health NCOIC, will speak about heat awareness for the VMC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sergeant Walker from Environmental Health over at the Vicenza Health Clinic. I'm going to talk to you for just a minute about heat awareness. It is heating up outside, as you can probably tell this week. It's been upwards of 38, 39 degrees Celsius. And so what we want to talk about is just tips for staying safe during the summer months. So the first thing we're going to talk about is you want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. A lot of people like to wait until they feel thirsty to start drinking water, and you're actually already starting to dehydrate at that point. So you want to make sure that you are hydrating throughout the day. Also, you want to make sure that you wear sunscreen. The way that our body cools itself is through the process of evaporation, and we provide that moisture through our sweat. If you're sunburned, that part of your body cannot perspire, and therefore it affects your body's ability to cool itself. It's also a topic of humidity, as you can see on the slide. This is a very humid area. Humidity affects the way that our body cools itself. You want to make sure that you're staying physically fit. If you're new to the Vicenza community, make sure that you're staying physically active. It'll help you acclimatize to our heat and humidity sooner and safer. You want to make sure that you avoid the hottest part of the day. I just mentioned staying physically fit, but please pick your hours either in the early evening or the early morning where the temperature is much cooler and the humidity is much lower. The hottest part of the day is when we see the highest rise in our heat casualties. And always check the weather before traveling. This is vacation season. There's lots of places to go, beaches, mountains, anywhere you want to go, but please make sure that you check the weather and that you pack appropriately and bring the proper items to ensure that you're staying safe in the heat this summer. Thank you so much for your time.
So I do want to point out the fine print there in case you can't read it, but I'm going to come find you in August and ask you, so what's your interpretation of the weather right now? And I want you to tell me it's okay and that you're not hot, because I think that'll be the interpretation for most of us in August. But okay, thank you.
All right, sir. And finally, the DFMWR, Bruce Bradford, has some great summer events you won't want to miss.
Most definitely. Good afternoon, good morning. I'm going to highlight just a few, but again, I can't highlight all of the MWR events and activities, so I encourage you, if you're online now, to go to the MWR website, Facebook page, sort by whichever type of activity you're interested, whether it be youth or adult, whether it be sports and fitness or outdoor recreation type activities. There's a lot going on, and I don't want you to miss it. But I'm going to highlight 3 larger community-wide events today. Next slide, please. So, how can you look at this picture without smiling? Everybody in the room is just laughing. Sesame Street and Muppets make me happy too. Coming up on 13 June, we have Sesame Street right here on Caserma Ederle. This is a special show. Some of you might not recognize the pretty little Muppet in pink. That's Katie. She's a special Muppet. She's a military family member. And so this show is produced specifically for military families. Katie will talk through with some of the other Muppets as they go through some of the difficulties of PCSing in, and she doesn't have teen Venuti, so she has to lean on some of the other Muppets to help her assimilate to life. But anyway, you don't want to miss it. It's fun, it's entertaining. I don't know if you can see it on the slide, but there's two shows. First one at 14:30, and the second one at 17:30. So 2 shows on that date. I actually encourage you to come to both of them. And if you don't have youth but you still like Muppets, they're actually the USO and Sesame Street. They're looking for a few pictures with some military members. So at 1600, if you go to the gym and you're in uniform, you get a chance to take a picture with Katie and Elmo and Cookie Monster, Grover. Who am I missing? Anyway, Sandy. Surprised I knew that one. But come out if you're in uniform at 1600 and take a picture with the Muppets as well. Next slide, please. So, Summer Family Fun Day. Next Friday, there's a big event coming. Who's heard that this is happening? Everybody? Does everybody know who the special guest is? Am I allowed
It's
to say
official
so?
now. You can say it.
Okay, sir. So the special guest, in case some of you hadn't heard it here first, the special guest will be First Lady Michelle Obama. She'll be here visiting our soldiers and families. A few events during that day. There'll be some that are specific invite to some of our expecting mothers, and as well as some of our 1st through 3rd graders for some book reading activities. But for the larger community on Villaggio that day near the youth center and middle school area, there'll be a barbecue, there'll be ice cream, there'll be entertainment, there'll be fun. All of that's free. You see the times that are listed there. That's a pretty wide window of time. Just be expectant that, of course, the normal screening procedures to get into Villaggio will be in place, but then there'll also be, to get to the site itself, there'll be metal detectors, and just imagine that you're going to see the First Lady, everything that could entail. So plan accordingly, but that's not to discourage anybody, just but expectation management. It should be a great time. More to come very soon on that, but save the date, please. Okay, next slide. Okay, Independence Day is the largest community event that we have in the Vicenza military community each year. Last year that we had unprecedented crowds. We're expecting that we'll replicate that success again this year. The event will be on 2 July. So I put that out there now. That's so that everybody can enjoy the long weekend that goes with that, and we'll celebrate Independence Day on 2 July here. It starts at 1600 right here behind the arena in the big track area we have there. There'll be food. Everybody here in the room can see the slides and see what that entails. And those of you out there in media land, I encourage you to also look up the slides, look on the website so you can see all of that. But I do want to highlight that the food vendors will be accepting euro, Italian vendors. They'll be accepting euro only, so please plan for that. The different fundraisers, our private organizations and FRGs that are doing fundraisers, they'll be accepting euros and dollars, and they'll be selling mostly novelty type items, ice cream, snacks, candy, things like that. See, also for entertainment, great entertainment that day. We have the 8th season American Idol winner, Chris Allen. Everybody in the room here is nodding their head yes that they know him. It'll be good entertainment, as well as children's rides and children's activities. And then, of course, to light up the sky and to cap it all off, we'll have the fireworks starting about 10:30. Great patriotic event, and the host nation will join us to celebrate our independence. You don't want to miss it. I think I've told you, hopefully, all the fun that you can expect. A little bit later, I think Mr. Goodwin from DES is going to tell you some of the rules of engagement for how we're going to have a safe environment with all these people all around each other. That's all I have. Thank you.
I do just want to highlight, Chris, on our Independence Day celebration. This is the one big event where we really open up to the community outside the gates and invite them on to celebrate our independence with us. And it's a great event for them and for us. They offer up their communities and towns and villages to so many events for us to come partake in, and this is the one time that we really open ours up for them to participate in a wide audience, not just the special events or the VIPs, but anyone out there in the Italian community to come visit. So I ask that you all, welcome them, encourage them to come and participate, and make sure they understand, the importance of the date for us as our nation's birthday and our Independence Day celebration, and share that spirit with them by inviting them in and celebrating alongside with our Italian hosts here on the Caserma. So, thanks.
Go ahead, Mr. Goodman.
Good morning. I am Kevin Goodwin. I'm the physical security officer for the installation. I'm going to talk just briefly about the access control for the date of the event. As mentioned, it is open to the entire community. So much like last year, if you have registered guests, we would like you to get them to the Pass and ID office ahead of time so they can be registered. Any non-registered guests are going to need to come through Gate 5, which is the Via Corbetta gate, which is located over near the clinic. And in the evening time during the later parts of the event, the Gate 2 will be open for outbound vehicle traffic from 2300 hours till 0030 to help the flow of outgoing traffic. And all of your registered guests must leave the installation no later than 0030. And all the other guests will be pushed out gate 5 who are not off the gate or off the installation by that time. Please pay special attention to the list of prohibited items. This was kind of an issue last year. A lot of folks would try to bring on their bikes, scooters, et cetera. We're asking that none of those things are brought onto the installation during the event. And if you have any other specific questions, please feel free to call us at 634-7053. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Before we go to the community announcements from our table, I want to also make sure people are aware that the Army birthday is being celebrated today at Deldin at the dining facility. They're having a special meal today at the Deldin dining facility from 11:30 until 1300. So if you're in the Deldin area, be sure to go over to the dining facility today for the special birthday dinner.
Yeah, so Aaron, that reminded me, I got so excited about cutting that cake, I forgot to announce that also on Friday, right here in the arena at 14:30, we're having an Army birthday celebration with the traditional colors and the hanging of the battle streamers and the history of our Army red accompanying each of those streamers being hung back on our Army colors. So please help us celebrate that here in the arena. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, sir. At this point, we'll go across the table for any additional community announcements from our service providers.
I have 1 second, Aaron, thank you. I just wanted to add, we talked a lot about newcomers and sponsorship and orientation. For newcomers or for reminders for the community that have been here for a while, we're living in Italy with a very regimented and different, to some people, trash management program process. And I just wanted to remind sponsors to let people know, and anybody involved in the in-processing, in-briefing. I know my housing office and environmental go to the welcome brief at the CPF, and just to emphasize that each comune, if you live in a house that's rented, has a system for trash management. The housing office has a flyer for each one of those communes, and there's about 50 different communes where we rent houses, so they do a lot of research to put these flyers together. I have my flyer on, and I've had it for 2 years, on a magnet on my refrigerator to remind me if I'm ever kind of questioning this milk carton, which is the right kind of container that it goes in. And it teaches you in your community what colors are the plastic and what color is the paper, what color is the general waste that's mixed. But, and I'd also say if you have to bring your trash to the base, if you can't use the Comune Eco Center and the Comune bins on the streets, if you have to bring your trash to the base, to please, and the sponsors and anybody involved in telling new people how to work here, if you could stress the importance of using the Eco Center. So the Eco Center is behind the parking lot that's behind the lodge. It's not just behind the Golden Lion where a lot of people think that's the Eco Center, and we get a lot of, especially PCS boxes, a lot of bulk things that don't fit into the small office-style waste bins that are there. So as a for instance, the opening on the paper is about this big because it's for office paper to be put in, and people come with boxes, cartons of things that have been shipped in, shipped out, and they put them on the ground there. So we're trying to avoid sort of the appearance that we're really kind of not keeping the base very well, or that, and we're also trying to maximize the flow of recycled material through the base, because that saves us money, which we can put into other community aspects. If we maximize recycling, we get charged less for our overall trash bill. So I just would say sponsors and people that are involved in helping people around, even if I saw somebody in front of the gym yesterday that I wanted to help orient a little bit on that. But we also can do something through DPW or the housing office. I'm thinking about calling it like a trash tour, maybe a trash venuti, something like that. But we can all do something to chip in, and appreciate everybody's help on that. Thanks.
And Saturday is trash day. It's closed on Sunday.
That's right. It's open on Saturday, so maximizing weekend use of the Eco Center on Saturday. We're trying to talk to the Comune of Vicenza, which we have the base trash contract with, to see if they can get Sunday operating hours. But being Italy, I'm not sure if that's something we're going to be able to succeed in. But it is open every Saturday, 9 to 2.
8 to 5.
Yes, just good morning. Just a couple of notes from the health center. Quick reminder for the community that the health center will be closed this Friday the 12th for training holiday. We'll reopen again on the 15th with full service. We'll also be closed the morning of the 1st of July to have the change of command for the U.S. Army Health Center's Commander Colonel Barr. We'll be open for full service starting that afternoon at 1 o'clock, 1300. We will also be closed during the long 4th of July weekend with all the events on post that we just previously discussed. Got a lot of people PCSing in. They see this big shiny health center, and they may think, wow, we have emergency services. Just a quick reminder for all the new folks coming in, we do have normal duty hours and services available, but if the health center is closed, we don't have emergency services. So please let the folks you're sponsoring or the new guys coming in know that the health center is not open for 24-hour services. We do not have emergency services. Having them dial 118 is going to leverage the EMS transportation to our host nation hospital, San Bortolo. We're going to try to do a better job with signage in front of the health center to make that very clear for folks that are rolling up and they're not sure that we don't have emergency services. We're also going to include that in the medical bienvenuti to try to orient the new people coming in so they can actually just have a GPS coordinate in that pamphlet, in the briefing, put it in their GPS ahead of time, so if their buddy's in trouble or they need medical care after hours of an emergency event, they can just punch that in and find their way to the local national hospital. We're also, even though it's the end of the school and one of the last things you're thinking about are sports physicals and COIS physicals, would ask you not to do that because we are offering an opportunity for all members of this post that have school-age children or are going to be involved in school sports or CYS events to come in and get physicals now. The next day that we're going to have a robust bulk school physical day is the 25th of June, starting at 8 in the morning. So come one, come all for your children. Please call for an appointment so we are able to accommodate you. Reminder, those sports physicals are good for 12 years. For 12 months. 12 months. So if your child's going to play basketball this fall, and you're thinking, well, we have plenty of time, we'd ask you, hey, bring them in June, so when fall rolls around and you have a very short suspense to get this physical, you don't have to jump through hoops. We don't have to delay services for your kid so he can get enrolled or she can get enrolled in services. Last thing from the health center is that we have Relay Health. Anybody in the room aware of Relay Health? Everybody in the room's nodding. Okay. So what this is, secure messaging opportunity. So all new people coming in process through the health center are going to be asked about this. Every time you come to an appointment at the health center, we're going to be offering you this opportunity to do it. What it is, you fill out a short half piece of paper with some of your information. We load that in our system. We then send you a email invite like any other social network. Hey, would you like to be a member of the secure messaging service at the U.S. Army Health Center Vicenza? You say yes. That opens up two-way traffic in a secure messaging format, so you can have the convenience of scheduling appointments, checking on lab results, asking for medication refills, talking with your doc or one of the treatment members on that team, a nurse. So it's being leveraged extensively by the community. I want to encourage you to do that. Instead of just waiting for the phone line to open at 7:30 in the morning and trying to get an appointment that day, you can either leverage TRICARE Online to get an appointment, or Relay Health has been very helpful, getting a lot of positive feedback from the community. So I'd encourage you to fill out the form and say yes when we send you the e-invite. Thank you.
Okay, sir, at this time, we open the microphone up for any community announcements from the audience. When it's your turn, please come to the microphone, introduce yourself and your organization.
Good morning. My name is Corey Kurzman, CPF manager. As we begin to go into the summer months and everyone's making their travel plans, especially for traveling around Europe, I just want to give you a reminder about the use of your passport. According to the Department of State, your official passport and your dependent's no-fee passports are for official travel only. All leisure travel is supposed to be done on a tourist passport. I do know that many soldiers come into this country on orders, on their ID card and leave form and orders. However, we ask that you use a very useful website. If you Google the Foreign Clearance Guide, it is broken down into two sections. For section 1 is official travel, section 2 is for leisure travel. It's broken down by continent and country, any country that you would be traveling to. And I will tell you that when we went through, almost every country in Europe requires a tourist passport, regardless if you are a soldier, civilian, contractor, dependent. So what I ask for you, instead of going down each country, just take a look at that website before you make your travel plans to ensure that you have what you need. Just a case in point, even Canada requires a tourist passport. So please take a look at that website, Google the Foreign Clearance Guide. I will tell you that the Department of Defense keeps that website updated weekly, and all new changes are on the very first page in red. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Frances Jackson from USO Vicenza. Before I make any announcements about the USO, I just want to wish my husband Ray a happy birthday. Today's his birthday. Aw. The USO is under new management now, so we just want to let you all know that we're actually trying to improve the center. We have a goal of trying to open up our next building over so we can start holding some classes and things. We are looking for volunteers to help us kind of get the USO reorganized, cleaned up. So please feel free to stop by the USO and come see us. Also, the 21st of June is Father's Day, and the USO is asking people to go ahead and send us a message on a message about their father, as well as a picture on why they're special to you. And if you do that, we'll give you a box of chocolates for your father or for yourself. So if you have any questions, come see us in Building 9A. Thank you.
Good morning, Mary here from the American Red Cross. I just wanted to put out a reminder that tomorrow, June 11th, we're holding the bike rodeo in partnership with several other of our community partners. It'll be from 11 to 1 at the Villaggio basketball court, and we will be providing hot dogs. And we have some MPs that will check some helmets and put them through a course so they can learn some basic bicycle safety. It's a free event that is open to everyone in the community, so please come out and join us for that. I also want to remind everyone that the Red Cross has a lot of courses we offer. We offer a full-day CPR course on the first Saturday of every month, so if you want to find out more about that, please come see us at Building 333. There is also a second option for a blended learning course where you can do part of it online and then part of it in person. That's the third Wednesday of every month. We have a pet first aid class. A lot of people don't know about that and that there is a such thing as pet first aid, but pets need first aid too sometimes. So if you are interested, please come see us. We have a babysitter training course. We got some young people in the community that want to get signed up and learn some basic first aid and CPR so they can babysit. We have that as well. Also, lots of volunteer opportunities always. So our doors are open from 8 a.m. to 16:30 every day. So come see us if you need us, okay?
Good morning, Joe Flory from the chapel. Summer is upon us, so that means it's time for VBS, Vacation Bible School. This year it will take place from July 27 to 31. We already have over 100 youngsters sign up. Registration is ongoing, but we ask you to please stop by the chapel as soon as possible to fill out registration if you haven't done so yet, in order to help us for planning purposes again. 27, 31 July, it's a great time. Hope to see lots of your children there. Thanks.
Hi, Yvonne Lively from ACS. I just want to let everybody know that we have our 50th birthday celebration this year. So that takes us back to 1965. So July 22nd, July 23rd, and 25th, we're going to kick off the events. The 22nd is going to be a reenactment of the original ribbon cutting at ACS. We're going retro, vintage, refreshments, music. It's going to be great. On the 23rd at Del Din, we're going to do a wonderful barbecue and an information fest. And then on the 25th, we're going to come back here to ACS, have a cake cutting, live music, kind of a concert on the lawn celebration. So we invite everybody from the community to join us in this great celebration. Thanks.
All right, now I turn the floor over to Colonel Menace for the open forum portion of our InfoX.
Okay, so I don't have any more questions on the Facebook page. Anything from the audience here today? We haven't had a question in a while in the live forum, have we?
We have not, sir. We need to create some controversy.
Yeah.
Maybe the air gun quote will get us some
I
controversy next time.
I might have
They'll
jinxed
show up.
myself with that one. Okay, so
right.
No questions from the crowd.
Okay. The next InfoX will be on Wednesday, August 5th at 10:30 here in the arena. Note that there will be no InfoX in the month of July. Material shown at this InfoX can be found on the Garrison homepage under the InfoX tab at the top of the page. And the entire InfoX will also be posted to the AFM Vicenza YouTube channel. Colonel Menace, sir, over to you for closing remarks.
Okay, Command Sergeant Major.
Sure. Oh, he's got something to say. So I think this is like my sixth
Info X, and I think every one of them, I have mentioned something about security, and I honestly believe that there's someone outside the gate watching everybody on the post for what we do, how we go off the base, and what we're wearing, and all that sort of thing. And I think since the first one of these that I've done, I think it was December, is when the new policy for what you're allowed to wear off post was put into effect. And I still see soldiers, officers, NCOs and soldiers alike, all wearing their uniforms off post to get gas, driving their motorcycles, and, you know, just eating in restaurants. That's a no-go. I say that, I can only say it louder, I guess. You know, I get with the sergeant majors that own each of the units, and they all acknowledge that there's a policy that says the only thing that you can wear your uniform to do is to drive from point A to point B. That point A is from your institution to your house. Get out of your car, into your house. That's the only thing you're allowed to do in your uniform. You can't drive your motorcycle in it. You can't stop and get gas or get bread or whatever you want to do. I say that because, you know, I think every week we have some sort of threat that is brought to us by our friendly neighborhood terrorist or terrorist activity, whether they're watching us or identifying with us or something like that. So to reduce our signature out there in the community, you know, I got it, our haircuts sort of give us away, but to reduce the bigger target on your back, stay out of uniform when you go off post. That includes everything that sort of identifies you as a military member. All right, your reflector belt, because we're the only Army in the world that wears a reflector belt. You know, all the Coyote Brown backpacks, ACU backpacks, et cetera, et cetera. I ask that you refrain from wearing that stuff. Now, obviously, I can't stop everybody, but I'll stop everybody that I do see and ask you to deem out from where you're at, okay? That's point one. Point two, Army birthday, 12 June, 1430. It's going to be a good event. If you want to learn something about your Army that you support, that you're in, and that you have been in for a little bit of time, come on over, 1430, right here in the arena. You'll get to learn what all those streamers mean that are attached to your guidons, your colors, and the Army colors. It's going to be a good event. We have the USAG award ceremony. It's going to be 1,600 hours tomorrow over at the Golden Lion. I bring that up because every time I've seen it or been part of it, it's been a packed house. However, I think we can pack it a little bit more, because every day I see some great things happen in our community that is either supporting the units that are leaving or supporting Garrison alone, or even supporting all the way down Livorno and Air Force and everybody else. So if you want to see those great people that have been supporting you and been supporting this awesome community, come on down and check that out, because it'll be a good time as well. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you with is the 19th. All right, the 19th, there's, you know, obviously the First Lady's going to be here, and she's coming here to see you and see what our community is all about in Vicenza. But another good thing that's going to happen is the Garrison, along with the USO and our boss, is going to throw this awesome barbecue. And I want you guys to be a part of that and see what that's all about. So come out, get a burger, get some ice cream, and have some time with the First Lady of the United States. Should be a pretty cool event. And I know she's going to come out and speak some good things about our community and about what America is doing for us while we're overseas. So by all means, come on out and support the event. The more the merrier. All right, we're ready for it. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Kevin.
Yeah, my name's Kevin Owens, the Deputy Chief of Staff for U.S. Army Africa. Just a couple of events that are going to occur over the summer that have visibility in the garrison or the community writ large. One, the 18 June quarterly retirement ceremony. We've tried for months to align that with General Williams' schedule. I think we're going to finally make it work this time. So General Williams, the USRAF Commanding General and Command Sergeant Major Stitzel will host this ceremony on the 18th. There's a whole host of senior officers and senior non-commissioned officers that are retiring at this event. So obviously I encourage all of you to join us in honoring what is centuries of cumulative service to their nation on that day. Our current Chief of Staff, Colonel Pedro Almeida, is essentially transitioning out of the Army. He's going to retire in PCS in the coming month. We're going to also host a specific retirement ceremony in his honor on the 26th of June. That'll be on Hofstra Field. Again, I know many of you know him, and I'd like to, pleased to encourage you to join us in honoring this exceptional officer's service to his nation. His replacement is Colonel Steve Moranian. He'll be on board next week. He's not a stranger to Vicenza. He was stationed here previously. Many of you may know him. In the spirit of everyone gets a ceremony, we'll also host a ceremony in his honor, a quick patch ceremony on the 2nd of June, also on Hoekstra Field. And most importantly, he'll be making his rounds as he processes into the community and meeting the community leaders and the agencies that they lead. And then lastly, and pretty significant for this community, is USRAF is now going to have a permanently assigned Deputy Commanding General. I think that's the first time that we've ever had 2 U.S. flag officers assigned to the Vicenza community ever. And Dave, correct me if I'm wrong on that. His name is Brigadier General Moore. So what does that mean for the community? It means we'll, one, have another flag officer that's permanently assigned to the community, which is unprecedented. But most importantly, he will be here to be a senior leader and servant of the community, and he'll certainly make his rounds also to get to know the community. We will also honor him with a welcoming ceremony, and more will follow it as we get closer, but that's towards the end of August on the 21st, also currently scheduled on Hoekstra Field. Thank you.
All right, so summer's obviously the time of transition for the military, and lots of transitions going on with both incoming and outgoing personnel, and we want to honor all of those that are leaving our ranks to other places or on to retirement, and then welcome those that come in with proper sponsorship and all the rest. Just highlight again the 19th. I hope to see you all out there, and again, build the expectation management. Obviously, with the First Lady coming, there's going to be a little bit of a heightened security posture as you try to get in. Just take that as part of the event and part of the remembrance, because probably for most of us, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get to see the First Lady. And so you go through, check, and the metal detector and all the rest, just with as part of the experience that you can tell your friends later on. And don't get too upset about that, because it's going to be lots of fun stuff there, as our Major said, and Boss is going to be all out there, and USO will be out there, and all of our other volunteer organizations, making sure all the kids and everybody has some fun. So look forward to seeing you all out there. And again, a reminder, no InfoX in July, as that's too many people coming and going, and that's also going to be the day of or the week of our 4th of July, so we'll be all actively involved with preparing for that event, and we hope to see you all at that one as well. Okay, so that's all I've got, and thank you all for coming.